Hello, welcome back to How to Learn a Language. Today, as part of our mini series on who Grace and Space is for, we're talking about Grace and Space being for learners who struggle with language anxiety or fear of mistakes. So, if that is you, stay tuned. If you are like, oh, yes, I've been meaning to get my ticket, you can get your ticket right now for Grace and Space at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/grace and space. And I will be sharing more about the event at the end of this episode. So then, learners who struggle with language anxiety, fear of mistakes, this is huge. This is such a big one because it really holds people back from, well, it can happen like with any piece of language learning. It could be that you feel like a reading anxiety. It could be that you kind of feel that you're not progressing enough. Yesterday, we talked about being frustrated with your progress. That could then lead to this feeling of anxiety of like, I can't do it because I'm not making enough progress. And therefore, I'm now feeling anxious about even showing up. But a lot of the time, it really comes down to speaking anxiety and a fear of making mistakes and that being heard, those mistakes being heard, even if it's by one person, even if it's by one person that we know and that we know loves us and cares about us and likes us. First of all, fear of mistakes is really normal, but it does not have to stop you. So a lot of the time, that feeling of, I cannot do this is just the stopping point, right? That is it. It's like, I'm scared and I'm going to avoid that situation. But we need to acknowledge that. I'm never, ever going to say, okay, you need to just get over it, push that aside, right? Like, that is not it. That's not how we do this in a way that is going to feel good, especially feel good long term. We can't just push the feelings aside. We have to acknowledge them first of all, right? Then we want to actually normalize that fear. Recognize that this isn't just you. Everyone feels this. Everyone at some point, even the people that you perceive to be uber confident speakers in other languages, has felt this feeling of like, am I doing it right? Maybe not even about languages, maybe about something else, right? We all get this. This is so normal. And I want you to borrow my belief in you being able to do this until you can build that confidence in yourself for yourself, right? And again, Grace and Space is going to be a really good chance to kind of connect with others, to get a bit of that energy and feel like, okay, I might not believe it right now. I might be terrified of making mistakes, but Lindsay believes I can do this. So I'm going to give it a go. It can be so helpful. People often join the Speak 28 by 28 challenge, and then the win they report back to me at the very beginning on day 0 is, I joined, I'm starting, I'm doing it. And then a week or so down the line, that becomes, I did something every day. So we've gone from, I joined and I've been scared of making mistakes and scared of doing this thing. And then a week later, I've spoken every day. Like it's all about just these small shifts, like little and often, right? So completely normal, but it does not have to stop you. And if you feel like it is stopping you, borrow my belief. I believe in you. You can do this, all right? So second thing, gentle stretching beats feel the fear and do it anyway. There is a lot online, this idea of like kind of hustle, do more, feel the fear, do it anyway. And this idea of like, your comfort zone is all the way down here, this tiny circle, and where the magic happens is all the way over there, far, far away from your comfort zone. But really, that's a bit misleading because if you leap too far, too fast, you're snapping back, right? You're reinforcing that fear. And real growth, especially with something like language learning, happens through these small, consistent stretches. So like I said, on that first point, like a week down the line, people are saying, I did something every day. Like, that's what it is. It's not, I had a whole week of panicking and thinking, okay, I can do this. Okay, I can do this. And then on Sunday, I stretched all the way and I spoke for 2 hours. No, you had these moments every single day where you built up to then feel that was less of a stretch at the end of the week. Do you see what I'm saying, right? Instead of just forcing yourself into full-on native speaker conversations before you're ready, just try these little micro challenges, right? A minute or two of speaking, one sentence, a short voice message to a friend. All of these little stretches are going to really just help to build that resilience and like just gradually help to minimize that anxiety and that fear of mistakes. And actually, I say voice note, this is really true because this happened very recently. Someone's feedback in Language Life said, they were feeling kind of down on themselves, but they had sent a voice note to a friend. And my feedback, I'm like all over that voice note. I'm like, why are you down on yourself? You did the voice note. You did the thing. Like sometimes it's those small wins that you really have to acknowledge and celebrate and not feel like, oh yeah, but I should have done more. No, we're just going to gently stretch it out. That's how we're going to move past something like that language anxiety or that fear of mistakes. It's just little by little, right? Being really kind to yourself with this rather than like, into the fire. And final thing I want to say to you, if this is you, that safe, structured speaking opportunities will help your confidence to grow with this. Language anxiety, fear of mistakes when speaking, this comes from this pressure of judgment, right? What will others think of me? I'm going to sound stupid. All of that is worrying about how others will perceive you and how you'll come across. But if you have somewhere that is very low stakes, where you can speak and, you're not going to be judged, one of the new features, one of our live sessions at Grace and Space this year that I've added for you to help specifically with this is our speed language swaps. So this is how you're probably going to discover like, okay, I can say more than I thought. I can do more than I expected. For this, you are going to be paired up in the Zoom room and you're going to have just a few minutes at a time with that one person. You're going to say something in the language you're learning. They're going to say something in the language they're learning. I'm going to do my best to make sure it's not the same language, although sometimes it might be, but we'll see how we go. And just knowing that that person is there purely to listen, not to correct you, not to judge you. Like, this is the environment that we create at Grace and Space. This is not some kind of high pressure, high stakes, like hustle club obsessed with hacks. This is like, these people are good people. They're chill. They are here to cheer you on, and so am I. And so these speed language swaps are a good chance to just, show up, dip your toe in the water, get that safe, structured speaking chance to help start to overcome that language anxiety and that fear of mistakes. This is happening first time ever at Grace and Space this year. This year's event is taking place from the 25th to the 28th of September. It's going to be the best yet. Every day, as well as getting access to that new talk workshop, there are multiple live sessions happening, including our speed language swaps. And I love this so much. My goal is always for you to have this chance to just breathe, to just pause, to just reset comfortably without it feeling like, that's what Grace and Space is all about. Plus, you get the chance to join Language Life with a one-off bonus package. Tickets are just $50. You can get them right now at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/Grace and Space. Or if you're listening to this in the future, you can sign up to my email list for updates on future events and get yourself access to my free ultimate language resource list at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/list. If you're feeling like, yep, that was me, I'd love to hear about it, you can email me at lindsay@doeslanguages.com or share this episode with a friend who is in a similar boat to you. And I'll be back soon. All right, bye.